there, Diane back again, and today we're going to sew a child mask. So get out your mask that says child. You should have 2 pieces of elastic and a front and a back mask piece. Just like with before, the other masks, make sure that they're right sides together and that your masks are cut out equally the same. We're going to sew the curved edge just like what we've done on the other 2 masks. 1/4 inch seam, back stitch, and the same thing with the other piece, back stitch, 1/4 inch seam around that curve and back stitch. Clip your threads, clip your curves. This one doesn't have quite as much of a curve, so we're just going to clip one here and one there. So just right there at that point where it's a little bit more curved, we're going to clip that. Again, straight sides up, right sides down. You're pushing the iron into that seam so that it's all pushing toward your hand. Again, right side, flat side up, right side down, pushing that seam away toward your hand. Just like what we did with the adult large mask, we're going to mark. This time we're going to mark again the 5/8 inch. With our chalk. Whoops, I got 2 marks there. Here's your paper and your glue stick. Do a line right on the top of that mark. Put your elastic just on the top of that. Now this is on the right side of your fabric. If you do this on the wrong side of your fabric, your elastic is going to be inside your mask and it's not going to do you any good. Make sure you always cap your glue stick when you're done so it doesn't dry out. Okay, now you're going to lay your mask right sides together, matching up those seams. One seam's going to the left, one seam's going to the right. This is identical to the large mask as far as directions, but this mask doesn't, it has more straight edges than the adult ones do. So these are more, this mask is more of a rectangle. Matching the seams together, one seam to the left, one seam to the right. On the flat side, mark where you're going to stop and start sewing. It's about almost 2 inches. That's 1 inch and 7/8. You're going to start sewing on the one closest to the seam. 1/4 inch seam, back stitch. Take your pin out, We're going to pivot and turn when we get to the corner. Make sure that elastic is out of the way. Take out your pin as you approach the corner. Plant your needle, pivot, turn, back stitch over that elastic to secure that. Back stitch over the elastic again on this side. Plant your needle, pivot, turn. Make sure your elastic is out of the way. Take out your pin. You're going to do a little pivot and turn here. Not too much of one, but a little bit of a pivot and turn at that point. Plant your needle, pivot, turn, double sew over that elastic. Plant your needle, pivot, turn, and back stitch where your mark is. Clip your threads. Clip your corners. Remember, we're just clipping it across where that pivot and turn is. Make sure you don't clip into any of your stitching. If you clip into your stitching, you're going to have a hole in your mask. We already decided we don't like holes in our masks, right? Okay, now you're ready to turn. Pull up the elastics, that helps to pull that out a little bit. Using your pencil carefully, poke out those corners the rest of the way. Don't poke too hard because you don't want to go through, you don't want your pencil to go through your fabric. You're just carefully pushing that through there. Oh, that one looks like it needed to be clipped a little better. Okay, now we're ready just to press those, pull those seams out. Remember that we're not going to press on the elastic. The elastic doesn't like heat. So, and where the opening is, you're going to just make sure that those two edges are folded evenly. Give that a good press right there. And over on this other side. And come up to the top. Now the top has a piece that you have to make sure you pull out. That's your nose, that's the nose piece. So you need to make sure to pull that out and don't just top stitch that inside there. Okay, we're ready to top stitch. We're going to start on the bottom edge, the one that's flatter. Top stitching the same that we did the adult large mask. Just going to top stitch all the way around the mask, pivoting and turning at the corners, back stitching at the first and the end of the seams. Pivot and turn. Okay, around this curve, slow it down a little bit so that you're able to sew it carefully and precisely. I like to clip this thread before I get to it so it doesn't get tangled up in the other stitching as I come around. Give it and turn one last time. Meet your other stitching and back stitch. And that mask is complete. Cute for a little person.